Good evening and welcome to Sports Federation TV. My name is Alexandaer. I'll be your host. Tonight we talk about a range of different codes of sport. We're chatting cricket, we're chatting hockey. But essentially what the show is about is the mouthpiece of the Western Province Sports Council, where we talk about all kinds of codes of sport, from baseball, cricket, rugby, football, tennis, table tennis, even disabled sport. And every week we showcase different codes of sport, talk about what they do, how they do, what makes sport exciting within Cape Town, and why people should be participating in sport. Sport is an active part of what we do as human beings for both health and fitness, as well as recreation, as well as social. So let's look and chat to these young men about their life in cricket, how cricket has changed their lives, and what cricket means to them. Muneer, you well?
Muneer, I'm very well, thank you. How are you, Alton?
I'm good. Nadir, you good?
I'm good, thank you. Can't complain. Yourself?
Good, good. You guys look quite nice in your tops. Which club are you based at?
We currently play for Altius United Cricket Club. We're based at the Greenpoint track. Yes, been playing there for the past. Well, I've been playing there for the past 4 seasons. Muneer has been there.
They've been there for my entire cricket career, basically, starting from juniors, leaving to go to high school, and then coming back and restarting again.
Why would you want to be at one club for so long?
At United Cricket Club, I won't say we're entirely a family-based club, but the camaraderie amongst the men there is like a family, and I think that is the one thing that binds and is the glue that keeps everyone together, and at the club for so long.
How big is the club? How many members do you have, or roughly?
We currently have about 4 to 5 senior teams. So we have the first team, the second team, 2 third teams. So we have the third A and the third B, and I think there's a 4th side, if I'm not mistaken. And then we obviously have our juniors, where it's from mini cricket all the way up to under 19.
Okay, maybe you should give us an idea of, because some of us don't have a clue about cricket. Give us some of the positions. I mean, you talk about a mid-off and a mid-on, and we all know what a wicket-keeper is, but give us some of the technical bits so people understand.
Yeah, like as you mentioned, cricket gets a bit technical, and it's hard to put your finger on it without having an actual picture map of where a fine leg would generally be. But if you want to put it into layman's terms, fine leg is usually the fielder who fields on the outskirts of the boundary or just on the inside of the boundary, but on the person's leg side, on the batsman's leg side, which should be on the back side facing. Yeah.
So the leg side is effectively the batsman's back.
Exactly.
Yes, that's correct.
And the onside is his striking.
Chest,
striking side.
Yeah.
The onside actually
is the leg
back.
side.
Okay.
It's called the same thing. Yeah, and the offside would be for the batsman's chest.
Okay, that's the easiest way I've ever had anyone explain. Because often people say like onside, offside. What does it mean?
Yeah.
You know, and people don't have a clue.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. And then obviously you get a range of other positions, and it's obviously based on the different formats. Like in terms of you have your T20, so you have different rules for each aspect of the game.
Yes.
What makes cricket so exciting for you?
It's just the fact that it's a team sport, but there's also I feel like I can express myself, and the thrill that I get is when I bat, and my strength is my weakness. So for example, I get a massive thrill by hitting boundaries, but yet that also leads to my dismissals, and I might be exposing myself, you know, but that's what can I say, that
drives you.
That drives me. That's the thrill.
So my understanding of cricket is you're either a specialist batsman or a bowler or just a fielder. How does it work? Am I correct in my assumption?
I wouldn't say that exactly, because you do get players or all-rounders. If you use Jacques Callis for an example, you could play in a team as purely a batsman, or you could play in a team as purely a bowler, and he was a good slip fielder and a good fielder. So I think he's the exception to the rule, but you'd get mostly at club cricket level where people would predominantly favour batting and predominantly favour bowling. I don't think there's any person that just goes there to field.
The feeling is a byproduct.
Yeah.
And now that we're obviously starting a new season, let's take a step back. Tell us about what was your pre-season training like?
Well, the pre-season training started well, because we are predominantly Muslim club, so we started after Ramadan. So basically, our pre-season lasted for about 2 months. Um, I'm into the fitness industry, so they appointed me as the head of the pre-season fitness. So basically what I done was I broke it down into 2 phases. So phase 1 was just about building your cardiovascular endurance, and then which lasted for about a month, and then going into phase 2 was more specific conditioning. Because I mean, with regard to cricket, for example, a bowler and a batsman, even a fielder, you're not going to be strolling between the wickets trying to get to the other end. You're going to be running. So I incorporated quite a bit of like resisted sprints, stuff like that, just to increase your power. Bowlers as well. A fast bowler is not really going to jog in. They're going to obviously run in as quickly as possible and then explode, release the ball as quickly as they could. And yeah, so it was just about developing their strength and specific fitness like fielding. So I'll do like burpees and then catches, do a lot of ladder work, so work on the speed and agility as well.
Because I mean, that's the key to the longevity of the season.
Yeah.
Is that if you fit at the beginning of the season and you maintain that fitness level and obviously increase it, you decrease your chances of getting injured.
Yes, that's correct.
And do you have a physio who's part of this whole club?
At the moment, we don't have a physio. It's basically, like I said, it's, how do I explain it now?
Amateur pro club.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't really have the fundings for professionals like that, basically.
What's the goals for the season, young man?
Goals, obviously, when you start the season, we aim to win. However, being realistic, we aim to finish top 4 in the 2-day competition, seeing that there are 3 formats, as you mentioned. The T20s, we're already out of the competition, so goals are done there. But for the 1-day final, we're looking to retain the title that we won last season.
Which, let's take a step back. Tell me about this 1-day competition that you won. Because I see 1A, 1B final, all split on your top.
Yeah, let's just say for the past 3 seasons, we've been getting to the final against the same opposition, but finally we managed to get one. We managed to win one. So yeah, the 1-day competition, it starts about halfway through the season.
Yeah, towards the back end of December.
It's a combined competition. So we have like your 1A, which we fall in the 1A, and then you get your 1B league, which is the division below that. So it's a cross pool.
Okay.
So you obviously play your pool, and then if you top your pool, or the top 2 teams on the pool makes it to the semis, and if you win the semi, you play in the final at Newlands. And yeah, last season was the first time we managed to lift the trophy, finally.
What's it like playing at Newlands?
There's no real way to explain what it's like to play at Newlands, because of all the people that have played there before you. There's obviously a rich history that goes along with playing at Newlands. But I think the most important thing when you play at Newlands is not to let the situation and the surroundings overwhelm you. Because that's the one thing that has led to our downfall of the 2 times that we have played there. And I think last season we got over that little hurdle of playing at Newlands, and we just concentrated on actually playing cricket, because I think with playing at Newlands comes the hype of coloured clothing, a white ball, which we're not really used to. And then I think that is the hurdle that we had to overcome, and we did that really well last season.
What was it like for you?
It was a feeling I can't really explain. I mean, knowing that players like Sachin Tendulkar, Jacques Kallis, Brian Lara all played at that ground. I mean, these are people that we all look up to, and it was a moment I'll never forget.
And what did you have lots of spectators? Because often people hear that it's a local competition, so they don't really come and watch it.
Yeah, we had, well, you can say like the whole of our club, the players,
all 300 plus their families.
Yeah, the families. They actually managed to fill out a suite on the top tier.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there was quite a bit of people. There was quite a bit. I mean, our opposition also, they had their supporters. So yeah.
I think also with that, the cricket fraternity in Cape Town is obviously they're very observant of what's going on, and it was very well advertised as well, because it's seeing that it is cross-pool, so everyone is involved in everyone's achievements and successes and those sorts of things. So I think it was very well spectated this season.
How did you do in the in the competition? Any highlights for you?
Not really. You can say the first half of the season I was out because I had a shoulder operation, so I only played the second half of the season. One of my highlights, you can say, maybe last season was maybe getting like a 30 not out base. Not much, but like I contributed and the team benefited, and I mean that's the most important thing. So Muneer had a lot more achievements than what, because I mean he had played the whole season.
Tell us, Nadir, give us some of your highlights.
Well, the one that generally stands out was scoring my first 100 in the 1A against UCT, the very first game, and it just happened to fall on my nephew's birthday, which was a good thing as well. And then I think
let's stop there. What's it like scoring 100? I mean, for me it would be an achievement just to score 5. Now you're scoring 100. What's it like when you're at 98 and you edgy?
You get, it's like they call it the nervous 90s. It's exactly that. For me, what I did, I literally hit a 6 to get to my 100. So it was 94, 96, and then 100 and done. So I think I'd rather just eliminate that, the nervous 90s completely. But as a cricketer, and I think as a batsman, that is what you live for. And you train towards scoring 100. That's your goal. And that's what you look forward to all the time. So to actually reach that achievement, it's a very big achievement. But in the back of your mind, you also think, okay, you are capable of doing that all the time.
Is it draining mentally to be at the crease for that long period?
Yeah, very much so. It's more mentally draining than it is physically. Like we mentioned, you mentioned earlier as well with fitness. Fitness plays a big role. So if you're physically fit, you're mentally fit as well. So I think that is the key, indeed.
And some of the other highlights?
The second one that stands out is hitting the winning runs in the final. We needed 3 of one ball, of the last ball of the game. Hit one through the covers for 4.
Nice.
But literally I just came into bat the over before that, and then so that was some serious pressure that I felt. But it's one of those things. It's a blur.
And which brings me to my next question. Often you hear the commentators say he needs to bat his eye in. Explain that to me. How does it work? Do you just go there and you just bat and hopefully your eye, as they call it, your eye gets in? Or because you obviously need to feel the pitch, feel the bowl, all of those kinds of things?
Yeah, I think they use it, getting your eye in more as to get accustomed to the sunlight first, because it's not always going to be very sunny on a certain day. There's the side screen behind the bowler from where he's delivering. You need to get used to the conditions of the pitch, so it might be a bit slower, might be a bit faster. The grass also might be a bit thicker, and those sort of things. So you take a lot into consideration, and I think that is what they mention by getting your eye in. It's not just about seeing the ball; it's about having your peripherals activated, if you want to call it that.
And what's it like standing there, seeing this oak run up, and he's gonna bowl? He's a fast bowler. How do you get used to it?
I just look forward to the challenge, basically. Yeah, the thing is, you train. We practice twice a week or so. I mean, we're used to it. Yeah, sometimes it just comes naturally. A lot of the guys, like for example, like you get obviously your faster bowlers, then you rely a lot on instinct. But once you get your slower, your medium pace bowlers, there you can still adjust and you can still like decide where you want to hit the ball, stuff like that.
But do you have a predetermined idea in your head before, as the bowler is approaching, of where you want to play the ball, or how does it work? Or do you wait until you see where the ball bounces and say, okay, now I'm going to play a drive or whatever?
Sometimes, well, a lot of the time I play like that. Sometimes it comes off, sometimes it doesn't. If it comes off, it's all happy and whatnot. If it doesn't, I get a tongue lashing from everyone in the cloakroom. But yeah, it's basically it. Yeah.
Well, you've touched on the family camaraderie within the club. Do you find that that's what keeps you in the club as players, number one? and also that you attract younger players and more players into the club, because there is that family dynamic. Because often that's what makes a club successful and retains its membership.
Yeah, I think that is, to me personally, cricket is second to the camaraderie that you experience when playing a sport, and especially a team sport. At a club like United, for example, over the years we've been renowned for being a family unit, and I think that is what attracts a lot of youngsters to the club, especially within the communities, because they originated from Boekap and Holmestate, and it's predominantly, if you want to say, a rugby sort of community. But because of the People's Post and you know, local sort of newspapers and TV shows, that these youngsters growing up, getting to watch DSTV, getting to read the newspapers, see that there is cricket within the community, and there is players that are actually doing really well. So that attracts them, and obviously attracts the parents, and more parents, which becomes friendship, and after friendship it just becomes family, and it's hard to leave your family. It's almost impossible.
Yeah.
You can't leave your family. So I think that is the thing that attracts the most, and you know, it just keeps everyone together.
And having that kind of ethos, do you think that it benefits the community in general? The people that you're in contact with? Do you talk about your club? Do you not talk about your club? Because often some guys are sports persons, and they're only sports person within their club. You don't hear that, oh, he plays cricket or he plays rugby. You don't hear about that. What's your take on that?
I think with United Cricket Club, because of the following that we have at the moment, it goes beyond the borders of just the cricket field. I know in the local communities you get to walk around, and it's good that you can just keep on walking around, and people will recognize you. If you go to local areas where you're gonna get food or something, like if you're gonna go to a tikka stand, for example, in Boekap, you know, you're going to get people that drive past it. They're going to notice you. They're gonna ask you, how's the club doing, and those sort of things. So I think it's a very important aspect.
What would you say to anybody who wants to get into cricket? I don't know if you guys remember, there was an ad on TV where the guys were playing cricket at night, and the lights were on. Mom and Dad, it's a day and night game. How do you get those kinds of kids to come into a club scenario? Or what would you use as a motivational tool to get them to come from street cricket into a formalized structure?
I think the main thing, like previously mentioned, is the camaraderie, and that sort of ethos needs to emanate from the club. And it's a hard thing to do beyond the boundaries, because of the limited resources and the limited funding that we might have to actually broadcast the game out there. But as in, like, I think the most important thing is the onus should be on the players itself to spread the word in those communities. And I think as United now, at where we stand at the moment, we have a rich pool of talent with juniors at this very moment in time. Like, I can personally say that, and I can personally vouch for it, because I'm the under-11 coach, and for me alone, I personally only have about 15 boys running around on a Friday afternoon, and that's just one team. So I think we're quite fortunate enough to have that sort of outreach where players are able to lower themselves and speak to the youngsters, and, you know, communicate well enough with them and with the parents.
And I think that's key to keeping those guys in the sport, is that A, you're a player, B, you're motivated to go down as one of the first team players to come down to their level and coach them, and then bring them up with you to that level, and eventually when you get a bit more grey, some of them may even be playing next to you.
Indeed.
You know, and I think that's the ethos. But what I'm getting from you is the ethos of what your club's about.
Yes.
Am I on the right track? Or
It's 100% correct. Yeah.
how do people get hold of your club? When do you guys train? Give us some of the club details.
We train on Tuesdays and Thursdays, so from 5 till about 7 p.m.
Where?
At the Greenpoint track, opposite the Cape Town Stadium. We recently just got our website renewed, so that's up. I'll give you guys the details of once we complete this interview.
Give it now, Twan.
It's basically unitedcricketclub.co.za.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also for the juniors, we practice on a Friday afternoon, starting at around about 5:15, and they end at 7. It's an open invite for anyone. There's registration, and there's boerewors and tuck shops that is running around there, and everything that the little ones want on a Friday afternoon.
Awesome. Gentlemen, good luck for the season ahead.
Cool.
Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
We'll get you back in studio to come tell us how you're doing much later in the season.
Sure.
Hopefully you'll be in the top 2 of the log of the
Hopefully,
1A.
yes.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. The pre-season should have been done. So now's the technical bit, so it's all in the
Yeah.
bag. Good.
Cool.
Thank you,
Thank-
gentlemen.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Let's take an ad break. We'll be right back.